December 21st, 2012, the day that every rational person in the world screamed, "Told you so." Ratchet and Clank Full Frontal Assault. Now let me start off by saying I'm a big fan of the Ratchet and Clank series. I've pretty much played every single game in the series, from the original, Going Commando, Up Your Arsenal, Deadlock, Size Matters, Tools of Destruction, Quest for Booty, Crack in Time, and All for One. So naturally, I'm excited for any game bearing the Ratchet and Clank name coming out. And given the fact this is Ratchet and Clank's 7th anniversary, I was all the more excited and interested. But strangely enough, for a Ratchet game, this is really flying under the radar, and after playing through it twice, I understand why. Now the gameplay in Full Frontal Assault is actually pretty simple to understand. It involves typical Ratchet and Clank elements such as level exploration, powering up your weapons, platforming, fused with tower defense mechanics this time around. Now at first when I heard this concept, I was thinking, wait a second, Ratchet and Clank gameplay with tower defense, how is that going to work? And at first I was a little hesitant, but knowing Insomniac and usually their pedigree of delivering quality products, I'm thinking, okay, maybe this could work. First, let's get into the good. This game's biggest strength is the fact that Insomniac did manage to incorporate weapons akin to the Ratchet and Clank universe very well into its actual tower defensive gameplay, such as using Groovatron mines or Warmonger turrets. Now one might consider the addition of a foreign gameplay element into a classic setup and integrating it so seamlessly that it overcomes that barrier might be worth enough praising. So what could possibly be wrong with this game? Well, pretty much everything else. This is without a doubt the laziest Ratchet game I've ever played in my life. One of the biggest appeals of the Ratchet games is its creative weaponries. Insomniac is usually really good when it comes to fun and inventive weapons that make you want to experiment with them. Unfortunately, every single weapon in this game is borrowed from a previous Ratchet and Clank installment. Now that in itself may not sound like a bad thing, but when a series is known for giving you fun and inventive weapons, the fact that they don't do it this time around makes you think they weren't trying as hard. Another huge flaw with this game is its story, for several reasons. Number one, the villain is completely forgettable. There is not a single thing about this character that is the least bit memorable, and I've played through this game twice. I forced myself to go through this game twice. Another issue I have with this game is the amount of levels you have to play through the storyline and complete it. There is not literally 5 levels in this game, 3 of which take place on the same planet, 1 of which has a snow layover. I'm not kidding you. That's all there is. 5 levels. I counted them. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on, Insomniac, you really couldn't think, in the massive universe you've created with the Ratchet and Clank series, you couldn't think of something a little bit more inventive, a little bit more substantial? I'm not asking for much, but seriously, 5 levels with 3 planets, with 3 stages taking place on the same planet? I don't know, that's just something I'm not sure if I could count that as an objective point of criticism, but for something that just, to me, that idea of just having the same planet, visiting the same planet 3 times for the course of a game, it just to me adds to the idea that this game is just lazy. And now one last issue I have with this game is its difficulty spike. Well, I shouldn't really call it a spike, more like a cliff. Now I know I said in my Darksiders 2 review that there are so many games that hold your hand now and are not allowed to give you a decent challenge. In the case of this game, it serves as a detriment at a point where it hinders the experience. Where it's not so much in Darksiders 2 where you have a difficulty curve, where it's a nice steady increase in challenge throughout the course of the game. With Ratchet and Clank Full Frontal Assault, it's more or less a steady pace throughout the course of the game through about maybe a third of the way through, or maybe 2/3 of the way through, and all of a sudden it shoots 90 degrees up and hits you hard. Probably the most apt comparison I can give about this game falls as thus. Imagine if Ratchet and Clank got into a 3-way with the villain plotline of The Incredibles and Plants vs. Zombies, and in the middle of this said 3-way, all 3 of them fell asleep, and the love child that came out from said 3-way is this game. So the bottom line of this game comes down to this. The gameplay itself may be functional, but the story is weak with a completely forgettable villain, no humor whatsoever, complete devoid of creativity in terms of weapon selection, a difficulty cliff that comes out of nowhere, and a bare bones amount of levels and planets in which you're allowed to explore. As much as I want to love this game and say it's a good Ratchet and Clank game, I can't do that. I cannot recommend this to fans of the series, or even newcomers for that matter. I would rather sit through All for One 24 hours straight than sit through an hour of playing through this game again. I mean, it's not the most abysmal thing I've played all year, but I would say Ratchet and Clank Full Frontal Assault is only worth playing at your own risk. Seriously, just don't bother with this one. Just stay away. I mean, if you want a good Ratchet game over the holidays, go play through the Future Trilogy, or go play the HD collection that came out recently. Those are infinitely more of your time and money than this piece of garbage. So everybody, that is my review of Ratchet and Clank Full Frontal Assault. I hope to get more reviews out to you during the holidays. If you have any requests, put your comments below and tell me what you think of this review. Until next time, I'm Perry the One-Armed Legend. You name it, I can play it.